Hello world, welcome to my channel, Proteus Augustus. I'm an artist, scientist, and American Constitutionist. Today is November 14, 2023, and I'm working on my painting up here, and part of the security feature I'm going to share with you what I work on. Right, I haven't done a science video in a while, but I want to set out some axioms about the universe and my argument for why and how it exists, and it's going to be very short and sweet for you, believe me. I think at this time, all of these physicists of whatever statute, it doesn't matter. I'm not analytical chemist. I'm not a physicist, but I study everything, so it doesn't matter what my paper says. All right, but one thing I know is all these string theorists can't prove what they're saying. I mean, the math looks good. The way I see it is, they've been on this mathematical merry-go-round for a long time. They were all educated on how to learn how to do all of these kinds of maths, like Hamiltonians, what's the name of the other ones? Langarian, or whatever. Anyways, there's all kinds of ways that you can look at math, right? You can apply group theory, right? You can apply matrix algebra to group theory, right? I mean, but what I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to make a couple of logical arguments. Math doesn't have anything to do with it, all right? And there ain't a physicist on the planet that can prove me wrong. So in a way, it's just philosophy at this point. But I'm going somewhere with this. See, I'm not just hanging around. My brain does shit. Right? I had a plan in life, and I'm trying to stay on my plan. Right? But why? I'm not saying I'm the smartest human being, by far. What I'm saying is I put an effort in anyway. And anybody wants to say what I'm about to postulate in these, well, I'm going to say these are axioms, because this is what I think that physicists have to start thinking now. They have to accept certain facts, right? Just accept them as a fact, right? And try to work from there so that we can learn how to utilize our local space, right? And before I go up to my whiteboard up here, right, I want to say a few things, right? Now, if you look at these ships, right, or these UFOs, or aerial vehicles, whatever you want to call them. I mean, the fact is, people have accepted that they exist, right? Accepting that they exist, and if scientists have had them for 100 years, like they could have found them, I don't know, maybe under the Sphinx, wherever. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they found the ships. They're working on this shit for a long time, right? Maybe that's why Star Trek was a way to get society to accept some kind of technology that they were working on. I mean, really, a 63, I'm working on 63. I saw Star Trek, for real, right? I mean, I was a boy, and, anyways, I seen the Apollos, right? If you have a certain perspective on these vehicles, right, there are things, right, that are evident if you look deeper into it, right? And what I'm going to argue here is that it's basically spatial distortion. It's not anti-gravity, right? I believe that these ships are interacting with the quantum field, right? And that they're using bosons, right? Well, I mean, if these physicists are true and they have proven a Higgs boson, that means you got to carry a boson in the quantum field, right? Where you gonna do that? Where you gonna do that? Okay, I ain't even gonna go that deep. I'm not. All right. But what I'm gonna talk about here is a few things, right, with respect to the Webb telescope, right? Everybody's gonna have to accept, the first axiom, right? I just can't see. I'm not saying it can be proven, but it basically is at this point, to the point where our small minds can grasp the size of this thing. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at my whiteboard. Okay. I'm showing my limitations to do this videography, or whatever you'd like to call it. But this is the security features in my painting, right? And I'll paint white over this. Now, I'm just saying what I'm working on. I'm not saying that anybody has to accept anything here, but I'm going to try to make a logical argument to push what I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm doing here. And I could come up with my own symbols, right? As long as I explain the nomenclature to you, you should be able to follow it, right? So what I'm saying is these are axioms, right? Right, SMITH-BORDEN, right? Now, given this symbol, right? This is the universe. This is the infinite void, right? This is the lowercase u, right? Or you could use, the Greek one. This is the local clock, or what we call the Big Bang, right? Q sub s is the quantum entropy, and Q sub F is the quantum field. Now, I'm just saying that. This is how I'm speaking, okay? Now, this is the first axiom based on, everybody should accept this now. The universe is the summation of all the local clocks. There has to be one local clock, and there can be up to an infinite number of local clocks, big or small, right? But I believe there's a critical value for all the local clocks before they go off, right? Ain't going there right now. But I believe this has to be accepted, right? And to accept this we're gonna follow now. So the universe is a perpetual mechanism because quantum entropy cannot equal zero, right? If quantum entropy ever could reach zero, the universe would cease to exist. That's a logical statement I can't accept based on thermodynamics in this realm, right? And when I'm talking about quanta and quanta equilibria in the future that I'm working on, right? This is what I'm talking about, right? So if the quantum entropy, right, the quanta in the universe can never, come to a zero value, right, then the universe is perpetual. And I'm going to show that. So note one, this is why and how the universe exists, right? The universe exists because there has to be an entropy gradient, right? There has to be. I'm saying you got to accept this too. It is a perpetual mechanism because quantum entropy can never equal zero, right? Just accept that, right? Stop working with this. Just accept that fact. And that's why the universe exists and how it exists. There has to be a gradient. Just accept it. You could call it God. You could call it the creator of all, like in the Apocryphon of John. You could call it whatever you want, right? But this is why the universe exists, because there's an entropy gradient. And where is that entropy gradient? Right? Well, anyways, I'm saying also that quantum entropy is time. And that implies that time also can never equal zero, right? And this is because, for note 2, this means the universe will never end. Local clocks will, okay? I will get into that later. But a local clock can end, right? But the universe can never end. And also, this may be a link between the local quantum field and classical gravity, right? So now you're dealing with quantum entropy versus time, right? Chew on that. All right, now, right? The entropy of the universe is the summation of all the local clock entropies. Okay? Where the entropy of the universe is greater than zero but can go to infinity. That's important in the future, this part. This upper limit. Is that asymptotic? Right? Is that when? Is this upper boundary gonna represent the critical value? Who knows? I'm just playing around. This is what I do with my mind. Right? So this leads to note 3. If you accept this, right? And this leads to note 3. Quantum entropy of the universal quantum field, right? This is quantum entropy of the universal quantum field. Therefore, the local quantum field must have a local entropy that is materially the same as this statement, right? That quantum entropy has to be greater than zero and it has to be less than infinity. Because this is a subset of you, right? Because up here we have the summations of the local clock. This is why this local clock cannot go to infinity and it cannot be zero. So what is this telling us, right? Here, what I'm saying is the total entropy of the universe can never be known. Therefore, the total energy of the universe can never be known. It's impossible, right? We can never know that. Accept it. Just accept that, right? But because of this statement, right? The total entropy of a local clock may be known. Therefore, the total energy of that local clock can be known. How do we do that? Again, axioms, logical statements. I'm asking people to just start accepting. Let's start working from these principles, right? Right? So that leads to note 4, right? Axiom 6 implies that the local quantum field can have a local entropy real value for a subset of that local clock. So this local quantum field is the local clock, right? These are some axioms I'm laying out, and I'm going to whitewash it. Chew on that a little bit, right? Because I'm saying that you have to accept this. And before I get to 7, right, I'm going to finish the rest of this frame, and then I'll take a picture of it. Till next time. think free, be free, and eat free.